advice warning. The content presented in this presentation is intended for informational purposes only and provides general advice only. It does not take into account your personal objectives, financial situation, or specific needs. This information should not be the sole resource when making investment decisions. We strongly recommend you seek the advice of a financial professional. G'day, welcome to this week's edition of Bulls versus Bears.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the feedback. No, we aren't in a cave. We just haven't been able to work out how our microphones work.
We've actually got a good one. We just it's operator error.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe one of the young blokes might be able to help us out there, I would imagine. But apologies for the echoing. We've done our best. We all did about 700 bits for I think we're going to call Ausbiz MPC biz now.
Yeah, something like that. And one thing I did notice is that David Lane did it twice this week. So he did one with Kai on Monday, and he was on today at lunch. So I was like, oh, okay.
It's technical issues, so maybe we shouldn't feel so bad because they've got a team of thousands up there, and they can't seem to get it right. But I did the call with 25 minutes notice the other day. That was interesting, I've got to say, because I was like, it can't be that bad. And it was every sector that we do not deal in, and every like way weird stock. So thankfully, was on with the ETF whisperer Andrew Wyland. So she let him go first on a couple of occasions, and I just, after that, I didn't have much to say, really, to be brutally honest. I think the only bit of solid advice I had was use the Aussie dollar hedged versions now because I think the US dollar is going to go down.
That's what you were saying as well.
Well, that was the only bit I contributed to the whole discussion, to be honest. It's a weird feeling to be on there. It's supposed to be the expert and you're the one learning something.
There's a lot of times where on there, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. But then there are a few times where someone goes, oh yeah, I didn't know that either. So it's always that's the good thing about call there. It's forced homework basically.
It is.
Yeah. So I had it on. When was it? Tuesday?
Well, Kai was Monday. You were Tuesday. I was ad hoc on Wednesday, but you were the trade Wednesday, and I was the COB Wednesday.
That's it. So we've been definitely a lot of media. On my special. What it was, someone from Macquarie had written an article like 5 hot stocks for winter, 5 cold stocks for winter. Basically, all the hot ones I gave advice. The whole article was based on earnings upgrades and downgrades. So all of the hot ones had been kicking goals in earnings and guiding upgrades, and obviously the trends were higher. So like them, but on the downgrades, I think the only one I said. This should be okay is Stanmore. I remember saying that it hasn't followed Whitehaven and New Hope yet, just because it's metallurgical. But the thing is, it hasn't fallen to bits yet. So
I had a coal company as well. I was worried it was Stanmore, but it obviously wasn't because you were the day before me. They wouldn't have had it 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but the cash burn was horrible, basically.
Was it Coronado? Or?
It was Coronado.
Yeah.
That was
Well, there's only half a dozen. So.
Well, no, I know, but it was.
Well, they wouldn't have Terracom on there.
But the chart was very low, and I looked at as I was studiously peppering my AI because I had no time to prepare. Basically, it's got about enough. There's almost a guaranteed cap raise coming. So coal needs to rally, otherwise that company is in trouble.
Oh, okay.
With a capital T. So it's like 10 mil cash burn a month or something.
So obviously then their cost of production must be extremely high.
I think the comparison I gave, because I was trying to keep things broad because I didn't have enough time to get into the specifics, but it's one of those ones when it came out when coal was at $400. So that's what happened.
Something mothballed. Coal's 400. They're like, let's bring it back.
Well, the same as what happened with lithium. The lithium price was never going to stay up there, and then a bunch of these guys came in that didn't have the economics to do it, or they did it, God, 4,000 a ton or whatever it was, but not so much.
Not at half the price or
like at 1,000 or something it is now.
Exactly. And funny enough, you mentioned that is that like lithium's actually back on the boil, and some of those multiple companies are actually rallying. So I'm just like, oh, here we go. So this could be lithium rally number 4.
In the words of George W. Bush, fool me once, shame on you. Can't fool me again.
Yes.
This won't be sticking. It'd be PLS. I think it'd be about the only one to be going
Yeah,
with
exactly.
there.
Just stick with the big ones like Liontown, PLS, Mid Resources if you like a bit of drama on the board.
Yeah. No, if you want to shorten your lifespan,
Exactly. But then let's move on. So Trump and copper. I will say that, and you agree, is that it looked like he made it up on the spot. If you look at the interview, he was talking about, he said EVs, and I think that's 50% on copper.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was because I'm watching those press conferences every morning, and he was talking about copper. He goes, yeah, I think 50%, and I'm like, you totally made that up on the spot. And I'm watching him every morning now. Because he it is a reality TV show to him. It's not really the presidency. So I actually did a list on Twitter on Wednesday night after that copper announcement, and I went and he said 7 countries are going to get letters, and I predicted 6 out of 7. I went with 4 BRICS nations, at least 1 mid-tier Asian country, and then I had Brazil for any countries involved in steel. So Brazil's the second biggest exporter of steel into the US. It's also a BRICS nation. So 4 BRICS members, 4 BRICS partners, 2 BRICS members got sanctioned, tariffed, whatever you want to call it. Aluminium was the only thing I was wrong on.
Uh-huh.
But 6 out of 7 ain't bad. But I'm actually a touch concerned that I'm getting inside Donald Trump's head, though, because I don't know whether that's the greatest place to be.
Exactly. All right, so next
highlights of the week.
Let's
there
you go.
So I'm gonna run with the first one because it is one that we started buying probably a little bit too high, about $5. But even in house, I was copping crap from the boys. But I said, stick to the plan. They got out for some people, but the takeover bid came through today. For those of you who are listening, I am curling my mustache right now. But that deal, but also I was on the investment committee for AusBiz, and I said, and I'm on the 27th of June, and I said they were bagging it, going, there's not even a number. And I said, I guarantee it'll be over $1 billion. And there was only priced at 800 million or 900 million then. And I said, and they'll want it done quick before earnings because they know that catastrophe stuff's coming through.
Yeah.
And it's just a stock that the analysts are just crap at because they don't. Well, and I think that's what the founder's the biggest shareholder. And I think he's just over it as well. He's like, I'm literally telling you what I can't comment on and what I can. You're ignoring me, and then you're getting angry at me because you've made a mistake. So he's just gotten sick of the ASX, basically. And so he would have got that's cheap, 1.1 still, because that catastrophe, they got a 3-year pipeline chock-a-block now in 2 countries instead of 1.
Yeah.
And the last time they had this, they went to $9.
Unfortunately, we can't take that ride because
but
it's gone to private equity. So
it's gone to private equity,
it's going to be delisted.
And he would, but he'll be on a pretty sweet incentive deal, I'd say, just to get it through. So it's like between copper, silver, John's Ling Group.
It's been a good day.
That's probably been one of my favourite weeks. I hadn't even really thought about that. That's outstanding. This is the first time ever a broken clock's been right 3 times in a day. So, but I'll leave. What else happened?
So lifestyle communities. There's been a probe into their exit fees. I wrote about it, but basically, you can. It's like that mafia thing. Like they're always dragging me back in. That's what lifestyle communities does. Like it's very onerous exit clauses on their.
Because everyone naturally thinks, because we get those on the call quite a bit.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks, everyone's getting older, blah, blah, blah. Surely it's just a lay down. But like, think about if you try to increase margins, you're increasing margins by lowering the quality of care for people.
Yep.
So you're like one Daily Telegraph or Sun story away from being persecuted in the press.
Exactly. And they're always on a witch hunt. They're looking for news.
Yes.
So that's their job. So that's lifestyle. It got hit like 30-odd%. Not too sure. Benzio won a contract for some more NBN. Unfortunately, this share price didn't rise. Next highlights are US. Next page.
Nvidia,
Yeah, so Nvidia, 4 trillion.
first company.
First company hit 4 trillion. MP Materials, so that spilled out into the ASX. So the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, bought $400 million worth of shares, and it jumped up 50%. And
Yeah,
that's why
rare earths, right?
Yeah, that's why Linus has jumped up, or anything that's rare earths in now.
That doesn't bode well for the trade deal that's apparently been done on rare earths, does it? If the government's buying up a rare earths company, like the deal that Trump said has been done on rare earths doesn't look good. So, I'm sorry, that just came to the top of my head.
But the thing is, so it's the only rare earth facility in America that's actually producing. It's in California. I forget the name of the mine. But yeah, that's why they bought it. It's had a great run, and then obviously jumped up. United Airlines, there was talk of a merger or a takeover with Southwest. I'm not too familiar with...
Delta did well on earnings, a record quarter.
There you go. So,
overnight rallied 13%.
And you might want to talk about Tesla, was it?
And then Tesla as well. No, I've just done... I'm a little bit in two minds. I'm scared because the sentiment against Elon's horrible. But the more I got into it, and as well, I've had a bit of a crack at the new Super Grok, which is the best. Well, it's only 3 days old, but damn impressive, I've got to say. It needs a little bit more steering, a little bit different. But it produces some pretty incredible work. So when I've said in the past, equities analyst won't be a job anymore. Having used that for 2 days, if you've got kids or grandkids who want to get into being equities analysts, please just tell them not to, because that job is gone.
I mean, that's just one of the many jobs that exist.
Coding. Probably don't want to be a lawyer anymore. Unless you
basically just be an influencer.
Yeah,
that's all that's left.
But anyway, the robotaxi service gets expanded to. They've applied in Arizona. They're expanding in Texas, expanding in California. Grok's getting rolled out to all of the Tesla ecosystem, the robots, etc. So, look, the numbers are really broad, but basically, from the research I've done, the addressable market is probably somewhere in between robotaxis, which is he's not in the car business anymore. He's in the passenger business. So, and you buy now a car to yield. And then the robots that are already running autonomously in his factories. An interesting thing was a big fund manager out of Asia was saying, once those robots, so one makes a mistake, every robot learns. So there's not like a union meeting where they've got to stop work for a health and safety and you've got to buy coffees and shut down the factory. But he said the advantage of it is that because you don't have to retrain, reskill, the robots can, if you want to pivot to a higher margin product, say if you wanted to do smartphones, it's basically the robots build you the production line and then operate it themselves.
Oh, so drones or military stuff.
Well, they are, and they are moving into drones for delivery and logistics. So, but you think about the data, all of the Twitter and social media data out of Grok, and then all the auto driving data, and then all the manufacturing, and then he's got Starlink as well. So so all of a sudden, that AI is just going to get better because it's always about the data, and he understands how to steer the technology. He's possibly the world's greatest technologist, realistically. I don't think anyone's ever revolutionized 3 or 4 separate industries.
He's got $6 billion companies,
Yeah, so everyone's worried about him being in politics. He runs Starlink, SpaceX, the Boring Company, Tesla, Solar City, and Twitter.
Yep.
So most people can't do one of them.
Yeah, and apparently he's a real good gamer as well, whatever that game.
Yeah, and there's no way that Grok's not running his Twitter account because it's he's just too active. or he's an alien, which is another theory that a lot of people have, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But so we're very the
But
deep dive on
either
that.
way, either way, so
It was down a little bit on the back of because he's starting the America party.
Yeah,
So they all thought they were going to get him back, and now he's not so much.
There you go. So Nvidia out to new highs,
and for good reason, not just passive flow.
Yeah.
They sold 115,000 chips to that. It was a recent IPO where basically they buy Nvidia chips because there's such a backlog. The business model is taking advantage of the backlog. They bought 150, and then the Chinese have bought, apparently, are going to put a data center with 120,000 Nvidia chips in the desert somewhere, which I thought they weren't getting the chips yet, but, whatever.
Yeah. But it makes sense because, from what I'm reading is that, all you need to do is just build those data centers next to a power source.
Yeah.
It's easier to transport data than it is to transport energy. So that's
Japan broke the record for the fastest internet this week.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of petabyte a second or something. So you could, at that speed, you can download the entire Netflix movie catalog in under a second. So wow. I don't know.
That's a lot of data to transfer. Yeah,
but movies particularly. Yeah. So United Health still getting smacked. I did a deep dive into that this week as well. Thinking that it would be deep value.
Looks like it's going to be deep value.
I know. I've said this on the call before. There's a buy, hold, sell recommendation on the call. I've got another category called run. Because I went in thinking, it's too big to fail. Surely this would be cheap. Exactly. This is just panic. And then the more I'm reading it, I was going grey.
Yeah,
but the healthcare sector is still not doing well. Moderna did rally this week on
quite
the lawsuit.
Quite a few pharmaceutical companies I've noticed. Where are they?
Yeah, they're too small. Yeah. Nvidia is too big now.
Exactly.
Health technology, I think, Eli Lilly, AbbVie, etc. Johnson & Johnson earnings next week. But so every medical association with over 300,000 members combined are suing RFK and the American Health Organization, government one. I don't know what they're called. The doctors are peeved. So they're suing them for negligence.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the good answers I got out of using that new grok today. I got an estimated delay of them being able to put that policy in place, and it's probably around about 6 to 9 months.
Oh, okay.
And it had great examples of previous lawsuits, etc. And if there is an injunction, I was blown away actually. So
nice.
And the technology services got a bit belted this week. I'm not sure why. Yeah. But they're we got US earnings, banks next week.
Yeah, they start the financial stuff. There's some on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Wells Fargo is Wednesday. BlackRock, JP Morgan. Yeah. Anyway, they're clustered in the nose.
Commodities. So obviously the main one is copper. New highs.
You know what? It was platinum first, then it's gone to copper. Oh my God, I'd love it if it was silver next. So,
look, lithium's bounced, and then Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's out at new highs. I think last time I looked, maybe 20 minutes ago, 118.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, quite a good run.
Yeah, I thought
it did spike under 100 maybe 3 weeks ago, and I was thinking it's starting to roll over here, but then bang, here we go, out to new highs.
And I made the bold call of saying 150,000 by within a couple of months, and I forgot it's Bitcoin. Yeah, you'd be bloody halfway there.
You could do that. But that's commodities.
But just with the copper thing as well, that's US copper. So LME copper was down.
Okay.
So because obviously there's going to be a glut everywhere else. Well, there won't be a glut. There will still be a supply gap. But you want US based, so Freeport McMoran.
Yeah. Okay, so click on next slide.
Yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
So actually, this was me on I think the trade on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this is actually copper revenues in billions. So you'll see that BHP and Rio are well out in front. So the two companies I kind of wanted to highlight was CSC and MAC. So they're both quite small in terms of revenue, but the thing is they're pure copper plays. So before we only had, everyone was always like Sandfire, BHP, and Rio.
That's Canadian dual listed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canadian dual listed. They have a mine in. It's all in America. Latin America. So they got a Mexican mine, one in Arizona.
The Arizona one is 31% of their production.
There you go. So, but the thing is, I think 96% of their revenue is copper. Mac Copper is the other interesting one. Obviously a lot smaller, but 98%, and it's in New South Wales.
There you go.
Yeah. So
BHP has got copper mines everywhere except the US. Rio has the second biggest copper mine in the US.
Yeah. So in terms of percentages, copper is 33% and Rio is 16% in terms of their revenue. So,
more iron ore heavy, but iron ore was up this week.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll just go back to it because that iron ore. It started the week fairly weak, but it's at multi-week high. Well,
that's actually a decent move. But the thing is, it just gets overshadowed because when you see much larger bars,
copper and Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. That's a decent move.
And silver is, as we speak, at 38.25. It just got to, and another fresh 15-year 16. Well, it might actually be.
It's a 15-year high.
But I think above 38, at least that's another 2 years. These might be a 17-year high now. Yeah. Anyway, we're cheering it to 40. We've got an exit at 40 for one of our structured investments. If you hear someone going woohoo in the distance, it could be us.
That's it. And,
I
got the alpha trade. Okay. Oh, sorry, the trade of the week. So we're talking about silver. This is an actual silver producer. Based here in New South Wales as well. I think
Cobar
as well.
Yeah.
So it's, could be right next door to Metals Acquisition and Mac Copper.
It'd be a good play. Go by the pub in Cobar, but they'll be minted soon.
That's it. And bring your silver coins.
Yes.
So the key with Polymetals is that they did a $40 million cap raise at 80 cents. I forget the timing of it. But could be around.
Yeah, it would have been that one in April.
Okay, so just in general, if you're buying it near the bottom end of the range and, someone smarter than you has instos have come in at 80 cents, that means it's well supported. They did come out with a quarterly, which didn't set the world on fire. But the thing is, it was business as usual. They're going to be producing, I believe, 5 million ounces of silver projected over the next 2 to 3 years. So I think in terms of cash flow, it's 300 million. And I think their market cap's around that same level.
Yeah, having said that, I think silver will touch $50 this year.
Okay. Wow.
So, but which is a dramatic increase to their margin. So when silver goes on a run, and I think you brought up a great point about platinum last week. Platinum used to be more expensive than gold.
Exactly, in ounces. So I remember back when I think platinum was still around 1,200 and gold was trading about 900. And then obviously that's flipped now.
Yeah, platinum was at 1,100 2 months ago.
It's had a good bounce to 1,400, but it's a lot rarer than gold as well, and it's a noble metal as well. So
and 90%, 95% mined by South Africa and Russia. So any more trade tariffs would be. And it has all the store value. It's rarer. It lasts just as long as gold, et cetera, et cetera. And there's more industrial use as well.
Exactly.
I do like this one. I'm a big fan. I'm telling my guys to get involved. But we've just got that ETP MPM MAG on at the moment. And people have got the leverage long. Yeah. Well, we've got the leverage long silver platinum. And we've got the leverage
exposure at the moment, so it's just all about picking and choosing which one.
I don't need to bring a miner into the mix to bugger up to bugger things up, but yeah.
Oh, here we go. So last week was 78. It was already in extreme greed, and it's pulled back a little bit.
Right.
So even though the market's hit new highs, so last week. You flipped as well because you started.
I probably would have squeezed it in, wouldn't it? It was slightly higher, wasn't it?
No,
record highs.
Yeah, record highs. So.
Yeah. Well, it can't be. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your call for this week? Don't forget we're in the earnings next week.
I don't.
Start of earnings next week.
Yeah. Why don't you go first? I'm just going to have a little think about it because I've just been a bit.
I'm going to stick to my theory that the Americans love to beat everything by penny. So they always set themselves up for a win. And yeah, I think the financials will lead us higher next week. So I'm bullish for next week.
Yeah, I think I'm bullish till the end of the month now.
Uh-huh.
I think he's pushed to August the 1st. He's threw his toys out of the pram pretty hard this week, and the market, it was barely making the news wires. So and I saw a journalist on Bloomberg one morning, and what's your reaction to that, John? And he's like, well, it doesn't matter because it could change tomorrow. We're just not. So people just aren't listening anymore.
Yeah.
And he threatened 30 countries this week, and no one cares. So I think the mindless green and it's summer holidays, mindless green robot's going to be heading higher. The chip stocks alone will drag it higher. I think the banks will do pretty well. The Amazon Prime sale, which people use as a bit of a consumer sentiment, apparently going horribly. But they changed the length of it as well to 4 days. It used to be 1 day. And then Amazon doesn't release numbers later. But I don't think there's any we won't have any. We've got industrial production in China next week. And then we've got inflation. So unless inflation spikes, I don't think we've got any chance of going down, to be honest.
Inflation could be higher, but don't forget that inflation is a rate of change measurement as well. So unless lettuce goes to $15 again, it's actually hard for inflation to spike.
Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan, notorious bear. I love his work. Take this with a grain of salt. But he's called the BLS, Bureau of Labour Statistics, numbers into question. He goes, no, there's no way they make sense. And he's calling for inflation to be a slow but accelerating burn over the course of the next few months. And everyone's calling rate cuts. He said that it's 50-50, that it's the next move could be up.
Yeah. Well, so what's happened is, remember when we put out the article? I put out the article on the supply chain problems I just about to cover.
Yeah.
And there was a guy from the ports, and basically Trump said, "Oh no, don't worry about all that." So what's happened is, everyone said, "Oh, it's back to usual." But the thing is, all those suppliers, I don't think that they've restocked everything at the lowest prices. So I think that will.
Well, it's fine for us in our ivory tower here to be sitting here talking about supply chains. But if you're a legit person who gets saddled with the inventory, I'm pretty sure we laugh and joke, but that'd be stressful as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
Trump's white noise would not be white noise if you're an importer.
Well, I remember a lot of manufacturers. They're like, "Oh, we do want to manufacture more in America," but the problem is, all the parts, all the inputs are from China as well. So it's not like China hasn't thought out the supply chain game. long before, which I've talked about quite a few times.
Another interesting thing that I saw this week was Trump's rumored nomination to replace Powell, which can't happen until May next year, no matter what those idiots say, Besson and Trump. They legally cannot fire him until May next year. And he said, "I am not moving because you two are loose." But he's actually a hawk. He's actually fairly he's an academic. He's been an economist for the Fed, and not from an investment bank. So I thought it was I went in researching him, thinking he's going to be a puppet, and I'd actually pre-written the first half of my tweet, this puppet, and I went, "Oh, I better check that he's not a puppet," and I went, "Oh, shit, delete," because he said, but generally his policies have been on the, fiscal conservative, pay down your debt sort of thing. Yeah. So we give Trump a lot of crap, but hats off if that's the guy, and he's not just going to bully the guy around.
What I have found interesting this week is that obviously they've approved the big beautiful bill, and it's added what you said, $5 trillion to the deficit.
It adds $5 trillion, but in the first well, this is the first 5 days of it. The debt has spiked 461 billion already in the first 4 days.
What surprised me though is that bond yields they've actually dropped through this. So that's the I would have thought the bond yields would have spiked, but it's gone the other way, and that's why this market just keeps trudging on high. I'm talking equities here.
And we went to a crypto thing last week with Independent Reserve. Cheers, shout out to the boys who we do a little bit of business with every now and then. And they're saying that the stable coins, because you were bringing up the fact that the personal holdings of so when a lot of the stable coins are buying US Treasury, so that's where that personal part of the Treasury buying is coming from.
So that's sort of like the next theory. They have to roll so much debt over, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to do it via stable coins now, and that's why. Have a look at Circle stock, not Robinhood. What's the other one? Coinbase.
Yeah.
So they're the two main holders or issuers of stable coins. So they're the ones that are going to be helping Trump and Besant roll those bonds over.
Yeah.
Or bills.
Good luck with that. I think we'll just continue to grind higher.
Yeah, don't forget, it is summer in the States as well. So, they've just had their 4th of July. This is their first week. So, yeah.
Yeah, Memorial Day is when they come back usually, which I think is the 11th of next month or something like that.
So it'll be an interesting earnings season next week.
Well, yeah, so the banks start, and then I think towards the end of the week, Netflix is Thursday, I believe. And Netflix is pretty nosebleed section prices, and then we get stuck in.
What is it?
I've got there's another fun fact on Twitter this week. The US stock market's actually down 17% priced in gold in the last 12 months. It's like
I've talked about. There's heaps of podcasts out there that talk about debasement. So just in general, basically, if you price everything in hard assets, you're actually losing.
Apparently, it's down 30% against platinum in the last week. Yeah, exactly. Who knows? It's down 10% against copper. But no, but we get stuck. I think Google and Tesla the following week. So much bigger the following week. So I want to keep my powder dry. I don't know whether I'm going to be brave enough to buy Tesla before earnings. I should, but we'll. But I think. You probably have to break it into 2 clips. Like you have to buy it before and either buy with momentum or buy the inevitable dip.
Or maybe you have to just double check on how he's gone in the last few earnings because it is obviously volatile. So I'd want to.
It's all about future.
Uh-huh.
So the earnings, like they're actually because it's all about everyone goes, I can't believe Tesla rallied. The car numbers are down, but they're not. They're not really a car company anymore.
It's all about the show.
Yeah, and I think he's going to bring the show back. Like I think.
Well, remember the last one when when he unveiled the robo-taxi.
Yeah. Oh no,
with the Optimus, which were remote control.
Yes, no, but the Optimus is working now. They're not remote controlled. But they were for that thing because Elon put too tight a deadline on it. But he's notorious for promising stuff way too early, and people believe it.
And people buy it.
But will they believe it after everyone's hating on him now? I mean, he was unlikable before, but now people actually hate him.
Yeah.
Whether they believe it or not. And look, I just don't know that uncertainty for me. Because sentiment's such a big thing. But it's traded at 100 plus PE for like a decade. So it's not. You're not.
Yeah, you're never going to get a bargain.
It's not the kind of company you're doing free cash flow analysis and forward PEs on and stuff. Like it is all about the potential $3 trillion that's dangling a carrot in front. So but it has doubled, halved, and then doubled and halved again in the last 12 months.
Oh yeah, it's volatile.
If you've got the stomach for it, have a crack. That pretty much wraps it up for this week.
Yeah.
I've been a little bit more active on Twitter, a little bit more time on my hands this week. Shout out to Shane Davis. He's going, what's going on with you this week? You're too involved. But sometimes I just can't let the stupidity fly on Twitter.
There's plenty of it.
Oh, there is indeed. I watched one crypto video the other day, and I'm having to block and mute stuff now. I'm getting it's unbelievable how much those guys must spend on advertising. Yep. So But have a safe weekend, and we will chat next week, I suppose.
Yeah, and thanks for listening. See you all.